Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis, and it's good to have you. It is middle of the week, a Wednesday, and we've got your HCC news and information for the next half hour. Some special guests coming your way. It's Small Business Wednesday, and also we got a student success story that we'll be highlighting in just a few moments. My co-host this morning, Montrose Cunningham from the Northwest College, is joining me as co-host. Montrose, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Always good to co-host with you, Todd.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on this week. Of course, next week, I believe, is going to be close to our last week. You know, it's kind of weird, Montrose. Next week is somewhat the last week, but then we have that one day on Monday that we got to come back. Who thought of that?
I saw that on the academic calendar, and honestly, I thought that was a mistake. I thought it was a typo.
So you want to give an over and under and who's all taking the day off that day? You know, how many vacation days we'll be using up that day? It would be the last days, because officially the break will start with 2 weeks from yesterday. So officially that'll be our winter break. So we got a little ways to go. Not that long ago, it'll be gone like that. You know it. So thanks for watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're here just about every morning. HCC is in session live at 10 a.m. And Montrose, they can also catch us on social media anytime and on HCCTV.
That's right. We're on the HCC District Facebook page, as well as YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right. Monday through Friday. That's right. All right, Montrose, stick around because you're going to be talking with this next guest. Small Business Wednesday, a business plan competition alum. We'll discuss harnessing change to accelerate human transformation. We've got Landi Spearman, the founder and CEO of Organized Shift, and she is an HCC business plan competition graduate. Landi, thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to hearing all about your organization in just a few moments. So you got time to grab some coffee if you'd like. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes. There you go. She's ready to go. All right. Thanks, Landi. We'll be with you shortly. But first, we have a special student success story who's turned a paid internship into a great opportunity, a high-paying job. Ryan Galbraith is an HCC graduate. Now he's a geospatial technologist. Ryan, it's good to see you again. I know we've talked before. Thanks for being here on the show. Welcome back.
Thanks. Yeah, good to be here.
Now, we want to remind folks that you and some colleagues won the grand prize for Intel's AI Global Impact Festival. That happened recently. I know you were recognized at a board meeting, but I want to talk about the digital twin you created as well. But first, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to HCC.
Yeah, well, I was a project coordinator for a small telecom company for about 18 years. And I got married in 2018. My wife said that I needed to stop traveling so much because it'd be months on end that I'd leave. And so I wanted to do something more creative, and HCC had just a great program for graphic design with a lot of different software to use. So I went back and, started school there in 2018, right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic, then everything changed. How was it making that shift to online? Was that smooth for you? It work out well?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I didn't like it so much because I'm a very hands-on learner, and I like to be in the classroom and connect with the teachers and get, real-time updates about what's happening, what problems I might run into. So it was a little bit of a struggle for sure, because being home and being behind my laptop isn't something I like to do.
And how did you join the class and internship program?
Well, when I first started, I just joined the graphic design degree program and met Ruben Duran in my Photoshop class. And he started talking about the XR program, inaugural program. They were starting that next semester. So I jumped on that opportunity, and then throughout the years kept in touch with him, and then met him. When the internship program started up, I just called him back, emailed him back, and was like, hey, let me join your team, because he ran the XR lab, and reluctantly said yes. And so got involved in that internship program with Skanska, which is, one of the 5th largest architectural firms in the world. So that was a real pleasure to do that.
You had mentioned, I've got a quote here that's from you. It says, technology has become more democratized. What do you mean by that?
Oh, like, you know, 5 or maybe 10 years ago, it's be difficult to get your hands on some of the softwares and programs and tools and technology that they use, unless you're in like a 4-year degree, master's or PhD program. So with HCC allowing to have partnerships and collaborations with some of these companies like Unity and Autodesk and Intel, and they're bringing this software and these programs to HCC, which brings more diversity, a lower level of entry, for these students around the country to get involved with some of the industry standard tech that you're using. So,
yeah,
I think the inclusion is the more diversity breeds more innovation. So that's kind of the democratize of what HCC and these community colleges are bringing.
I always talk to students about how important it is to really get an internship, because it gets your foot in the door with companies. Even if you don't get a job with them, you meet people, you network, and you never know who you're going to work with down the road. How has the internship that you got through HCC helped you succeed?
Well, a lot of just, because I was a pandemic graduate, the very last year, we finally went back to school. So the internship kind of helped me get some hands-on learning, hands-on training, meet with these, companies that are doing this type of infrastructure and technology. So just being able to see what it's like to actually get in the real world and kind of run these systems and run these programs, that has helped me get where I am today.
And you also have a drone pilot license as well? Is that what you're doing with Skanska?
Yeah, the internship was creating the digital twin for HCC, that whole campus. So I knew I'd be flying drones, and these are softwares that I never used before in the core classes throughout the year that I was there. So knowing I was going to fly a drone, I went and got my FAA pilot license at the very beginning, so then I could start and do it all, legitimized with the school and under their safety protocols and stuff. So yeah, I had to learn how to fly a drone, how to do photogrammetry and BIM modeling and 3D modeling, and so LiDAR. So yeah, that was kind of the tools necessary, and kind of changed my whole trajectory of, instead of like XR and video game and 3D design building and stuff like that, went into more architectural, modeling and stuff. So yeah.
We mentioned at the top the Intel award. Can you talk about the Intel project? How is that going?
Oh, it's going great. We just wrapped up a kind of a mini docu-series that Intel came in this last weekend.
Yeah,
because they're constantly promoting us and helping us build our project. So, it's an indoor industrial safety drone project that we're working on using LiDAR, which is making like a digital map of an interior space, because drones can't necessarily fly autonomously inside because it doesn't have the GPS location and from the exterior. So we're able to create that and then detect and reference that map any changes that happen within that environment. So, safety standards say there's a spill on aisle 5 that, that wasn't there in the first reference map that we made. It can detect that. And also with other cameras and sensors that we can put on, like thermal camera imagery, we can detect if someone's using has a weapon, underneath their clothing, then our drone can detect that and then send it to the proper safety, person to alert them. So yeah, it's been going good. We, like I said, we wrapped up the Intel photo shoot. We just filled out our LLC. We're trying to build, the equipment now. Intel is helping us bring, get all the equipment like the LiDAR and the RealSense camera. So we're just pushing forward.
What are you doing now? And have you graduated yet?
Yeah, I graduated last December, and kind of continued working on drone stuff throughout because I was still working for the company up until 2 months ago. I was in El Paso and applied for 3 jobs for the first time and got offers from all 3 of them, and accepted this one from.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Accepted this one from a company called GHD, and they're an engineering firm that does a lot of stuff. Their digital team does a lot of stuff that I went to school for. So you were doing topology and BIM modeling, and when there's a lot of different various industries like architectural, environmental, and oil and gas and manufacturing. So yeah, it's been great.
I'm going to ask you a question. It's not on script here, and it's just your own personal feelings. if you talk to people about drones and technology and the fact that, we're being watched, everything we do, what are your personal feelings about that? Because people will say, well, I don't know if I want to be watched everywhere, but the minute something happens, unfortunate, you always want to go back and say, let's go see if we can find a camera that caught it. So I guess it's like a double-edged sword. We want it there. We want the technology, but then again, we don't want to become 1984. Have we already reached that point?
A little bit. I mean, when anything happens, everyone's just bringing out their cameras, right? And it's one of those things that have it and need it and not have it or want it, So I think there's some issues with, trying to be ethical in what in privacy issues with what you're filming and what, is being filmed. So, with what we're doing, we're trying to keep it as ethical as possible. Sure. LiDAR and thermal can't get facial recognition. So it's a little scary. I don't say that we're creating a drone surveillance, Skynet system, but we want to try and keep as much privacy as we can to the people. But it's like those, you want there to be photo evidence, or you want, some type of reference that, you feel like you're safe, right?
Right.
It's a little scary.
Ryan Galbraith, we appreciate you being here. You're certainly our success story, HCC grad, now geospatial technologist. We'll have your information in our post after the show. Continued success. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
All right, take care. Okay, I'm going to turn things over to Montrose, and you've got another special guest, Montrose.
That's right. And before I get to her, I just want to say thank you for referencing a couple of my favorite movies, 1984 and The Terminator. Definitely two of my favorites. All right.
We just don't want to be living those movies, though.
Right.
And we kind of are. It's just, we haven't turned into the desolate wasteland like we did in Terminator. So
right.
Let's stay away from that.
All right, moving on to Landi Spearman, founder and CEO of Organized Shift and an HCC business plan competition grad. Shout out to the Northwest College, as well as an alumni circle sponsor. And she is a leading expert on millennials and the multi-generational workplace. Hello, Landi. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let's begin with just a brief description of your company and how you find the positives of change for your clients.
Sure, Montrose. So couple things, I love our previous guest, Ryan, who spoke about some of the current changes that we're facing. When we think about what's happening in the future is now. So what we do is we deal with this thing called change, and we use a data-driven change approach to help to really harness the power of change and to also be able to deliver and drive measurable results. We do that through, strategic planning. We help folks with change leadership development, some diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting, and then also team as well as executive coaching. So these are things that we do actually leveraging data and technology. We've been doing that for quite some time, helping over 1,000 leaders. And we've worked, Montrose, with folks like leaders at Salesforce, with Comcast, like some of our large clients, and then right here at the ION with founders and entrepreneurs to be able to deliver systemic change, like at that level of my mindset and what's happening in my organization, what's happening in my culture. And if I can give a little bit of reference, I started doing this when I say a long time ago. I grew up in the city of Chicago. 8 different businesses were started by my parents by the time I was 20 years old. So when we think about, internships and workforce development and being able to apply what we're learning, I had the true training ground to be able to do that. And that is what I use to help, leaders and teams today to really drive change.
Okay. Yes, my family's from Chicago. I'm originally from Maywood, Illinois. So
I know where that is, Montrose. We're on the same page here.
Yes. So now I've read in your bio that you left a 6-figure real estate career to build your own business. So Tell me a little bit about that and how you got started with your company.
Sure, absolutely. So, being a Texas real estate broker took something. I've got a lot of land here, and I actually developed a team to help to deliver, to help folks with one of the biggest decisions that they make in their lives, purchasing a home. And so, one of the things that I found was, when you hand someone the keys, there's a whole bunch more that continues to happen after the keys. And that involves the impact of moving, the impact of the sense of belonging and kind of getting connected to who the folks are in this new area. So we focus on the address or the boxes, but the impact of the change to the person is what I saw that there was this need or this gap. And again, I mentioned, growing up in Chicago with seeing this need and this gap early on being a skill set that was developed. And so we worked to fill that. So created a relocation concierge service, won lots of amazing awards. As a matter of fact, worked with the Center for Entrepreneurship. Sandra UVA was one of the folks who saw the vision, believed in the process, because we applied these change management tips, tools, techniques, these methods that work in business. And we were able to bring that to impact personal change. And so she saw that, which is a reason why we actually changed our business model from just, putting folks into the home to actually doing Montrose full service relocation. So when you think about, dishes were in the cabinets, furniture and beds were made. This is the level of relocation that we dealt with to reduce that impact on the person who was moving.
And that's a perfect segue into my next question, which was about the business plan competition, which is out of the Northwest College, my college. So how did the relationship with Sandra Louvier and the whole business plan competition help?
Sure. So let me kind of go back to the start of the conversation, which was this thing called change. If you've ever changed, if you ever moved, that change, the change and impact of moving is quite stressful. And so what we did was we operationalized that by looking at the time that was invested in who was doing the moving and reducing that time. We looked at the cost of that person who was impacted, not just the cost of actually moving, but the impact to the person, as well as the time cost and the quality, the new quality of life. And we leverage Lean Six Sigma, which are, techniques that are used in business. I have this manufacturing background, work with, Kraft and GE, where I learned a lot about this, but was able to get certified and apply that into my business. And what we did was we went through the business plan competition, utilizing this concept, and then turned that into a true business, again, an award-winning business, and something that I'm very proud of. One of our biggest clients, we moved from Houston to the Hamptons, Montrose.
Oh, wow.
And I did that all from working with our team, but I was right here in Houston when we did that. So when you think about that move and reducing that impact to high net worth individuals, to executives who need to get to work quickly, you want to make sure that they're productive and that the morale is up and they're not thinking about meeting the cable guy, right?
Exactly.
So some of the things that we were excited about, we were a 3-person team. My husband, Rob Spearman, was one of the original founders. My cousin, Eric, actually a truck driver, a long distance truck driver, who focused on marketing and social media, had a wonderful background there. And we submitted for this business plan competition and attended classes as well as the training together as a part of the work that we did. We learned how to pitch it and make sure that we have this strong business plan and take it from concept to actual business plan. And Sandra actually submitted us for the NACE award, which is a community college award, and we won. Very proud to say that I was the only woman and the only woman of color on the stage amongst the winners of these national small businesses who were a part of that competition. And it's super excited. Thank you. Super excited about that. But that momentum continued to move us into the next steps, which is when Harvey hit, we actually shifted from moving boxes to moving mindsets.
And that's a huge honor. So congratulations on that, on the award. And then also you talked about Harvey. We also talk a lot about how the pandemic affected businesses. How did the pandemic affect your business?
Well, when you're in the business of change, Montrose, you better be really good at adapting and helping others to adapt. So what we did was when we shifted that business model from moving boxes to moving mindset, that was actually a precursor to how change and stress impacts leaders, right? Because folks had really, really big decisions to make, but they were making the decisions under stress, which is similar to what is happening or what happened at the very beginning of the pandemic. So there was like this precursor. And so we used some of those same principles, the change management tools, the Lean Six Sigma, but then we also brought in this element of data. So I actually became certified as a data scientist to be able to apply data to the concept of change. It's like, well, if I can see it, if I can use that left brain, the analytics to understand what's going on, and then be able to apply that to the people who were impacted, then now we're talking about the formula to understand change and to really be able to drive things moving forward. So we grew from our 3-person team to a 6-person team. We also, as I told you, became certified in Lean Six Sigma. The Super Bowl was the same year as the hurricane, 2017, and was pulled as an entrepreneurial influencer to help folks know about our wonderful city of Houston, and as well as when Harvey hit, in that same spirit, unfortunately, was sharing the news, but it wasn't the good news of the Super Bowl, but the connection to businesses and small businesses, how to get back on track, how to readjust. That's a part of what we were called to do. And then we changed our name. So Destination for Relocation kind of lends into this move, right? It gets these thoughts going around moving. And so I actually changed the name for a period of time to Landi and Company, kind of like Tiffany and Company, one of my favorite jewelry, and then to what we are today, and that is Organized Shift. So as a part of Organized Shift, speaking, we've been on 34 different stages to speak and to really connect to folks all across the United States, the National Urban League, the data science professionals, the ION, right here in the ION and the Greater Houston Partnership. But some of those things are what we've done.
Well, great. I'm sorry we have to wrap it up, but this has really been great. And we thank you so much for joining us. And we'll definitely have your info in the post after the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Montrose. I appreciate it. Look forward to being in touch.
All right. Thank you, Landi and Montrose. Let's see. We've got a few announcements to get through before the show's over with. One of them, exhibition going on at HCC Southeast College. Painting and photo works of Houston-based artist Sol Diaz explores how the poetic and comforting relationship between nature and man. It happens through this Friday, December 9th. It's free out at HCC Southeast College's East Side Wedge Space Arts Gallery. Check it out through the end of the week. And there's a trustee workshop that's going on as well, Montrose.
That's right. The final civic trustee workshop next week, leadership and problem solving. And that's next Monday. And it's a learning online workshop, no blame problem solving, government decision making, and city leadership roles. And that's from 9 a.m. to noon, Monday, December 12th. And it's virtual. You can check the post for the link for more details.
All right. And mental wellness support groups, coping skills, that's happening as well. It's a free WebEx session. Happens 3:30 p.m. Wednesday, December the 14th. This month, HCC's virtual mental wellness support group is open to all students 18 or older. It provides safe spaces to gain mental health awareness and education, gain life coping skills, and receive emotional support. As I mentioned, it's next Wednesday. We'll have some information in our post after the show. And it looks like we've got an Instagram exhibition that's going on.
That's right. The Fall 22 Instagram exhibition, HCC's gallery walls, will be Instagram for the Fall 22 exhibition that features studio classes from all colleges in the HCC system. And that's free through December 31st. And it's available on Instagram.
All right, we mentioned winter break. You know it. If you work for HCC, you definitely know when it's coming.
Counting down.
Counting it down. We've got a few shows next week and then a final show before the break on Monday, the 19th. Then we go on break on December 20th, and we won't return until Monday. Well, is it Monday or Tuesday? I think we return on that Tuesday. So we need to check.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we return on the Tuesday. Yeah, if we said Monday, we're going to make a lot of people angry at us. So I'm not even going there. Check the facts. We'll get back to you tomorrow, or look on the website. I'm not going there, but pretty sure it's the following Tuesday, the 3rd. Anyways, spring registration is open right now, folks. We've got 5 ways to learn. Some of the classes, the mini semesters, start on Monday. So keep that in mind. And they're online. Check them out. Go for all your registration needs. Go to hccs.edu/apply. Tomorrow, we've got another guest from the XR Lab. The media art class learned how to use VR design app Gravity Sketch to create a metaverse gallery. That's pretty cool. And Thursday, we've got Thursday Family Fun Day, the Texana Center Cafe. They've been here before. They're going to return again. All right, Montrose, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Oh, anytime. Thank you for having me.
All right, and thanks to all of you for being here. We got a couple more weeks to go, folks, then a winter break. But we'll be here tomorrow live, 10 a.m. up to the minute.